Welcome to Sandbox FOMO5 from Buro Happold. Each week we pick short snippets from our most recent episode for your listening pleasure. These quick listens could be valuable insights, thought-provoking elements, or even practical advice that will no doubt enrich your life and knowledge. Sandbox brings together curious individuals interested in a specific topic to discuss, dissect, and interrogate it. The style is conversational, with experts from Buro Happold and invited external guests who will add another angle to the narrative. Listeners are encouraged to gather around our podcast so that we can explore the latest advances in various fields and expand our collective horizons. Sometimes we'll tackle a subject head-on, sometimes a sideways view, but always with curiosity, expertise, and who knows, maybe even a dash of humour. Let's talk about this wonderful stuff you do, these amazing designs that you do. What are the solutions? What are some of the subtle ways buildings influence, in a positive way, the ways that we feel, sleep and focus, often without us noticing? Dan, I'll go to you first this time, please.
It's about control, and allowing for that control is sort of that design philosophy, I guess, that I always like to start with. Again, we'll come on to that neurodiversity piece, which again, lighting is a huge part of that, as well as our neuro-inclusive environments. That lighting and acoustics are the sort of the top two things that people tend to have negative comments about when it isn't designed particularly well. It's things like in your office setting, for example, having a choice of space to be able to go to. Are you in your open plan office able to work in the environment where you've got other people around you? And the sorts of things that we look at is the materiality of the stuff that we put in that space. So broadly, with acoustics, how much sound absorbing stuff do we put in there? And we're sitting in here in our little acoustically treated rooms at the minute doing this podcast with the microphones, and it sounds sort of effortless and clear and great. But how do we do that in an office? We actually very, very fine-tune the spaces in terms of what we call the reverberation time. So it's how much sound we allow to bounce around a space, and are we allowing that to bounce over into an adjacent working area so that it can annoy our colleagues sitting in a space where they're trying to have a meeting while, we're shouting away on a Teams call in the background as well. And I guess with Lena, it's sort of a similar thing as well. I know that some of the lighting engineers previously have told me that it's about choice and about task lighting as well has been one of the key things in unlocking that flexibility. Is that something you could tell us a little bit more about?
Yeah, so all these things you mentioned are relevant, like controls and flexibility, providing adjustable lighting scenarios that allow spaces to adapt to different needs and activities. And this flexibility can create inclusive space to correspond to different needs and individual preferences. And with lighting, there are other factors that make a good lighting design, such as lighting intensity, which prevents eye strain and headaches. Having like a nice uniformity, so this ensures that lighting distributes uniform over task areas and floor, and avoid contrast and shadows. Color temperature, glare control, high CRI. High CRI ensures that colors are rendered accurately. And also, probably on top of all, I would put natural light as well, because it's important to maintain a connection with the outside world. Because as humans, we are part of the environment and we shouldn't be detached or isolate from it. So it's important to have wall openings and windows providing the opportunity of this connection with the outside world. And maximizing natural light also regulates the circadian rhythms and improves sleep quality, reduces stress, and all these things we mentioned already.
Now we're going to come on to neurodiversity. Now, even a layperson like me can see that all of this, the acoustics and the lighting, is going to have a profound benefit for inclusivity and neurodiversity. Dan, like I say, you're the acoustic lead for the neurodiversity service offering. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
This is something very wholesome and very close to home for me. So I am a person with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And I have something, my particular subtype of that is called inattentive as well, so that means that if I can forget, I will. So I'm having to, throughout this podcast, refer back to all the notes we talked about the other day as well, which has been, it's been a wonderful experience.
You're doing a cracking job
having me on this. Thank you. So the neurodiversity service offering, it's a service offering about creating spaces that are neuro-inclusive. So I'm going to take a step back and talk about what it is, basically, at a base level. So it is for everyone, which is neuro-inclusive as a word. Neurodivergent is what someone such as myself may describe themselves as. So that is the 15 to 20% that are, and a colleague that I work with, Jean, in our inclusive environments team, who I've worked with for a long time, is very wonderful, basically described it something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, that we are different enough to be called neurodivergent. So there is something that separates us from everyone else. But what I really love about the service offering is that if you design to the sorts of standards that we're looking at, and Jean took part in, and she was sponsored to develop something called the PAS 6463, which hopefully will at some point become a British standard. And I provided a bit of support for the acoustics as part of that as well. And talking about the acoustics part, we took standards that we knew worked. We looked at schools, and bureaus are the Department for Education's preferred contractor or an acoustician for schools. We work as part of that team. So we do a lot of schools.
Sorry, Buro Happold, did you say? Yeah. Oh,
yes. So not contractor. We're the preferred acousticians for this piece of work. And as part of that, we know from feedback from the schools that we have designed that acoustic design works. What we've done is we've taken that thinking and we took it a step further and we made it more stringent fundamentally, because we know that people who are neurodivergent can experience along the lines of sensory processing differences, which is basically where, and I experience this all the time on things like the tube, which is particularly noisy, it's particularly packed, and it's particularly bright as well. I've actually ordered some new tinted glasses to quell some of the light that comes into us. But so as part of all this, it's producing an environment that it's not targeted at neurodivergent people. It's targeted at everyone. And that is the thing that, for me, that's really important, is that it therefore creates a space that's neuro-inclusive so that it works for all of us as well.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick dip into our last episode of Sandbox. Don't forget to subscribe to follow the show. You'll find Sandbox in all the usual places, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buro Happold's YouTube channel, and on the Buro Happold website. What's more, if you want to join the conversation on X, known as Twitter to its old friends, use the hashtag BHSandbox. We'd love to hear from you on any of the topics discussed.